both of you guys are happy that you decided to research your bodies with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Interesting.
Weird.
Like there's there's peptides I love and there's peptides that I don't.
This is kind of that gross corporo capitalism oligarch like situation, because you will get somebody that sees results from researching with them and then turns around and goes, well, time to quadruple the dose or something like that, and harms themselves. And
Yeah. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a machine. You gotta keep your machine intact to keep it running, right?
I was hanging out and mentioned peptides, and somebody came up to me and they're like, oh, you sell peptides? I was like, sure do, yeah. And I'm thinking he's looking to purchase some peptides. And he's like, yeah, I sell them on TikTok. And I was like, oh, okay. Got it. Do you carry COAs? And he's like, nah, I don't give a shit. I'm like, got it. All
Letting
right.
people inject toxicity into their bodies.
Right. And that's the thing, is people are seeing these COAs and they're going like, oh, it's the efficiency, but they're not paying attention to the actual purity level of it. And so like, yeah, that's fantastic if you can get Retta that, makes you burn all the fat and everything like that. But if you're injecting yourself with heavy metals, like, you're getting what you paid for.
Exactly. That's why, I mean, even you see the stuff on social media about rhythm, like the new put heat on your arm, don't even feel the prick, get a blood vial this big, send it in, and it's $80. And results are skewed, right? Yeah. They're not coming back 100% accurate.
Right.
Go see a DPC before you take peptides, right? Don't take them blindly. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
But you should be doing some sort of full panel blood work every 2 to 3 months. Yeah. Right. And I'll share a little bit of my journey, if I may.
Yeah, tear in.
Started March 1st, 279 pounds, 19-ish% body fat. Definitely put on a little bit of weight after college and then lost muscle. So it evened out, being at 275 at, 11% body fat or whatever, and just shredded in college, to then being 279 and a little pudge ball. Right. And then I started taking, retatrutide, or is that what it's called, by the way? Is it retatrutide? So I prefer calling it Retta.
The person who actually made it enunciates it as retatrutide. However, everybody at this point calls it retatrutide or Retta. And so, you can clarify if you so desire, but every time you talk about it, you're then going to have to clarify, like, well, the owner, the person who made it, otherwise they're going to think that you have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so we'll leave it at Retta. Yeah. Retta, been on it since March 1st. It's been great. I've been on Clo. That's really helped me with deep sleep and recovery. I think that's been awesome. My back pain has been a 1 to a 0 when it was a constant 7, and it would keep me up at night. That's been awesome. And now I'm a big golfer living in Arizona. How can you not, right? And so being able to go play around and go home and not just ache and pain for 2 days after is amazing. Yeah. And then I've also taken the tesamorelin, ipamorelin combo to really help build that lean muscle gain and help also shed more of that visceral fat.
Yeah.
And, feeling all that strength is amazing. And then MOTS-C, right? I think that's been absolutely unbelievable for me. Yeah. Eliminating brain fog, giving that energy boost where Retta potentially has that fatigueness to it. I feel like a different person. This morning I weighed 236 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm 8.2% body fat according to my last scan. Yeah. I feel incredible, right? And this stuff, it really, truly does make a difference. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I just turned 42. I'm on the Clo stack as well. NAD plus, which has been tremendous for energy level and brain cognition. Like, I have severe ADHD, and it feels like I went from being a computer that's like bottlenecking with information to then being like a multi-core processor, and I'm just like bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang, all at the same time, and it's been fantastic. Plus my energy levels have been way better.
Yeah.
And, I've been losing weight. Had I not spent, 4 or 5 days down in Mexico just eating all the things, I would probably be down, because I started doing intermittent fasting and coaching with Brandon, and I weighed about 182. Last week before leaving for my birthday, I was at 172, and we had only been at it for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and
that's incredible.
I weighed myself this morning. I'm at 174. However, had I continued on my regimen and not been like, it's my birthday weekend, I'd probably be down into the 160s at this point.
Yeah.
However, a mixture of intermittent fasting, eating healthy when I do eat, with my open window, and believe me, I eat enough. However, between eating healthy, intermittent fasting, and peptides, like, I feel fantastic. I feel better than I did in my 30s. And, I have no cartilage in my left knee. I have 4 crushed discs, 4 herniated discs as well.
Oh, military.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, I, for probably 3 months, had a massive knot in my shoulder that you could literally see through my shirt. And, like, I didn't know what to do. And I was doing all sorts of stuff like chiro, acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, gua sha. Like, I could not drop this thing. Myofascial adjustments, all that. I just started injecting Clo into there, and it has dropped massively down.
Which is
it's
awesome.
Still a little crunchy at times, but I feel fantastic. I'm not locked up like I used to be either. So, like I said, my experience with it led me to be like, no, this is absolutely the next revolution in medicine. And, like, I want to be a part of that. I want to push this. It's
Both of you
amazing.
guys are happy that you decided to research your bodies with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Interesting.
Weird.
Like there's peptides I love, and there's peptides that I don't. Am I okay to share some of the ones that I don't?
Yeah.
Or-
Sure.
Yeah,
Your
Terry.
experience is your own, yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, I didn't like CJC at all.
Mm-hmm.
Extreme hot flashes, breaking out in bumps, wasn't worth it to me. Didn't
Right.
see the same results that I did with tesamorelin, ipamorelin, and I had no reactions to tesamorelin, ipamorelin. In my opinion, I think it's stronger than that. So, but that's just me. That's how my body reacted to it. I had to stop taking NAD+.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, because I was getting such bad flank pain. I felt like I had what you were describing, a gigantic knot. And it was, even if I was wearing a shirt, it would be like burning to the touch on my skin.
Yeah.
Sure enough, did all the research. Flank pain is one of the common side effects of NAD+. And so I stopped taking it, it went away after 3 days. So I'm going back on it now to lower my dose, still getting that function, that energy boost without the pain. It's been awesome.
Right.
So learning that that's going to be more like Retta, where I got to, titrate up and then titrate back down when I get off of it.
Yeah.
So that's been good.
I mean, and God bless the doctors that are out there that just don't allow big pharma to bully them, and allow, like, they're not scared to talk about these things, and I absolutely love that, because I think, much like many other things in this country, we've gone down such a gross path, and we talked about our love for economics and nerding out on that. I'm hardcore a free market capitalist. Like, I'm hardcore capitalist. Obviously, I'm a business owner, right? However, this is kind of that gross corporo capitalism oligarch like situation that, unfortunately, there's too many big corporations with bigger money that are able to just absolutely sink something fantastic like peptides, and like, the campaigns that they're going to be using to trash these things. And it's
a lot of it's already happening behind the
Oh,
scenes.
yeah.
There's the lobbying that's going on.
It's pretty crazy.
It's actually the point where it's not really even behind the scenes anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's
over the last couple
known
weeks, I've
quantity.
seen it too.
Yeah.
And it's hard to watch. But even like looking at, for example, thanks to you guys, I was able to help one of my friends. She's in her early 50s. She was doing hers, Hims and Hers, that company.
Yeah.
She was doing hers, and it was like $1,500, and she did it for 3 months and lost 4 pounds.
Yeah.
oh my, that's terrible.
And then been on Retta for 3 weeks, and she's lost 8. And so she's like, I'm already doing something for a fraction of the price, where I know exactly where it's coming from, and I've already lost more weight than I did on the last thing.
Yeah.
Why did I not find this out sooner? And that's the whole reason why you do it.
The only reason I'm not researching with Retta right now is because I am diabetic. And so, when we've had this discussion, I've gone into diabetic strokes. That is the scariest thing I've ever done. And so, I'm very apprehensive to talk to anybody about GLPs at all, because you will get somebody that sees results from researching with them and then turns around and goes, well, time to quadruple the dose or something like that, and harms themselves. And like, I don't want that for anyone.
Exactly.
Again, research purposes only.
Hence research before you start doing it.
Right.
It's the biggest thing.
So there are a lot of doctors out there that know a lot about what's going on with this and how to help.
I'll actually shout one out. My DPCP, Sean Murray, he's in Chandler. If anybody is local in the area, I highly recommend going and giving him a shot. He's off Chandler Boulevard in the 10, I believe. But he is absolutely phenomenal. Very well versed, similar background to yourself. Family, 3 kids. He is very, very, very well versed, and he's like, hey, what are you on? Here's what your blood work shows. This could be a correlation to this. This can be a correlation to that.
Right.
Keep doing this, and if you want more, I can supply you some. That's the kind of guy that I want to see, because he is not honing you on what you're taking. He's not following the big pharma, this and that. He is truly about what is good in your body. What are you doing to protect your body? What is the longevity of what you're trying to do? How can we work around it? How can we help it? How can we evolve what you're doing now?
Right.
And my God, he's been absolutely amazing. So I've seen him also since beginning of March, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say we're getting close to wrapping this up. I would love to ask you if you have a piece of advice for young men that are just coming up in the world right now, that they may have resonated with your story or what you've done. What advice do you have for them?
Yeah. I mean, if you're an athlete and you're, have the big dreams and the big ambitions to go to the next level, I recommend that you chase it with the backup plan. Focus on what's important, because your academics are always going to be there. Get it done now while you're doing what you're doing, and value the connections you do while you're making it. Hey, maybe that person in class can be annoying, but if they're smarter than you, surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Be the dumbest in the room. I know everybody says that, but it's true. I put myself in places where I don't know what I'm doing, to then be in a room where people know exactly what they're doing, and I need to learn, but I can learn 3 times as fast because of the person I'm surrounding myself with, right? So have your aspirations and dream big, because if you dream big, then if it doesn't happen, right, you're at the place where you're bigger than you thought you could have been if you didn't dream big.
Yeah.
So,
and I wish I would have gotten on my hustle when I was your age or younger. I was in the military, and then I got out very much with the intent of going to college to become an entrepreneur, and really didn't launch my first thing until into my 30s. And now I'm like, God, what was I waiting for? Like, this is so much better than the 9-to-5 grind.
I couldn't agree more. And yes, a part of me is on that 9-to-5 grind now, because I, partner with a large corporation to see how I can run my practice of employee benefits. But I have that entrepreneurial background like you too. I'm trying to open that franchise right now, the health and wellness studio, where it's red light therapy, hyperbaric chambers, hot tub, cold plunge, Normatec. And we also, potentially looking into the peptide IV therapy masseuse space, where people can come in and, whether you're partnering with a Pilates studio or a cycling studio or a big time gym, you have that time where you're seeing 3-4 people come in an hour, and you have that freedom, autonomy. You're not put on a pedestal, and you can come in and really focus on what matters for your body. Right. Really get that hour and a half session where you're walking out feeling like $1 million, because then that gives you the mindset and the attitude to go treat that in your way of work life too.
Yeah.
You feel like $1 million, you're going to put that more time and energy into that work life. That's going to in turn bring that financial freedom to you, hopefully sooner than later.
Well, and I think I might have even told you this. However, I have my mentors, right, in the realm of business, and a couple of them, if I'm going through something, I'll just, I'm dealing with this and I'm dealing with that. They immediately go, when was the last time that you went to a float spa? And I'll be like, damn it. All right. I'll call you back. I got a schedule. And I will go and I will float, and I will sit in that little float pod. And sure enough, got it, figured it out. Okay. And I'll call them, half an hour after my float and just be like, yep, sorted it out. Thanks again. And I bring that up to just kind of say, like, people are not realizing how much they sacrifice by not sacrificing for themselves. Like, you are causing yourself way more grief than you need to, when you just need to prioritize yourself a little bit more. Rather than working so damn hard, focus on relaxing, focus on yourself, you know. And granted as well, I'm still on that kind of beach vibe from hanging out by the beach all week, but you know, it's something that's important. You need to prioritize your well-being all the way around.
Yeah, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a machine. You know, you gotta keep your machine intact to keep it running, right? Well-oiled machine is exactly what needs to happen, right? If you want to produce that, you know, generational wealth, you got to take care of yourself first to make sure that you're healthy enough to do that.
Right.
Self-care is absolutely a big part of what I do with my clients.
It's the number one thing, in my opinion. Because if you're not and you're unhealthy, you're sitting on the couch, you're eating potato chips at 9:30 at night, and you're thinking, when is this going to come to me? It's not.
Yeah. Well, and the self-care goes beyond even just the food you put in your body.
Yeah.
Like it's information in, information out. There's so much more to it. I think that the self-care part of the industry is not as respected or paid enough attention to as it should be. Mm-hmm. As I have clients that don't do simple things that maybe you and I do, and most people do, but they won't do those things for themselves because they're prioritizing their businesses, they're prioritizing their work, whatever it is. It's like, okay, also prioritize yourself. It's so wildly important, as well as then also the physical element of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I'm sure you've probably heard people talking about peptides. It piqued your interest, you looked into it, but you don't know what source to trust. A lot of this stuff is coming out of China. If you're looking for a good quality peptide that's made in the United States, go to helixpure.com.